It's Forms of Faith, and I'm back with another dream.
And it shall come to pass in the last days, saith God, I will pour out of my Spirit upon all flesh. And your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams.
Today is January 21st, and I woke up at 8:50. I remember it's like I pulled up to the hospital, and when I pulled up, it's like they were expecting me. Like I knew the people there. It was weird. And in the hospital, the little desk area, I was like, yeah, I'm just coming here to pick up my referral. I don't know what the referral was for. And when I got in there, the whole emergency room was packed. It was packed. These people looked at like they were literally clinging on to life. They were so sick, like literally sick. Their nose was so red, like they had blew it so many times they were about to fall off. Their eyes was like sunken in, grayish, reddish looking, and they were all looking like palish kind of. And I remember just being in there, I began to like start sniffling. I wasn't sniffling before I got there, and when I walked in, I wasn't sniffling that time. And I remember the lady, she gave me, she heard me sniffle. She reached to give me a mask. But the mask she gave me at first was like the thing to go on your head, like a head net. Then when she reached and got me another, she went and part that you put around your ear, that scrunchy white band piece, it was popped. So I was like, oh, we could try and make it work. But when I went, she was like, just get another one. So I did. And she was like, you could go on back. And it's like I went to like a little administrative area that was in the midst of the, in the back of the emergency room. And I was like, hey, y'all, I just wanted to come and pick up I was like, might as well, since I was this way and I could get everything done Friday. I remember saying Friday. I remember Friday being the highlight. And, it was a guy that was sitting in the middle of the table, and it was weird because this was supposed to be like an office, but it's like, you know how when you're called into the emergency room or the triage area, it was kind of like that, where they have like a little cut just to take like your weight and stuff. It was like that, but it's like they could have been running tests on something. And I want to say, for the life of me, the people who were running tests were Oriental. Like, I knew they were some type of Chinese or something like that. The one guy, he was playing a game, and the rest of them was indulging in the game on the computer with him. And he was asking them questions and asking them to get them the answer within a certain time frame. And he was like, they had lost, and he had to go on to the next, I guess, like the next question or like the next part of the game or whatever. But I remember it was the girl, and she was like, girl, yeah, I'll take care of you. And we got like lost up in conversation, and one by one people start calling in. And it's like, at first when they start coming in, it's like me and her was so caught up to where next thing you know, the people that had done flooded the room were eating on the people that was doing the research and the one guy that was playing. And I told her, like, look. And I was like, don't look. Like, so literally they were like feet away from her and I, about like 6 feet away from her and I. Like, I had told her, I was like, we gotta get out of here. There was like a opening in the midst of these two rooms, and They were everywhere. It's like they were all over the floor just eating on these people. Like, just eating on them. All of the people that were in there. And I remember she jumped across first. And there was like sliding glass doors in between this one part that was open to like the double doors of like the emergency entrance where they'll call like a patient back. And then the next double doors to get outside, the ones that, open by themselves. And I remember it's like I had a knowing, like, go. When you go, don't look back. Don't run. Don't go too fast because I didn't want to fall. And when I hit the double doors, keep going because they had all came in from the emergency lobby area and that it was clear for me to go. Mind you, my car was right there on the ramp. And I went through when she trampled over them, instead of her going through the clear part and out the door, she went to the other side that kind of looked like a mirror of the room we were in, and it had a glass door behind it. And she tried to step over them, and they got her. And I'm like, dang. And it didn't discourage me. It just let me know, don't go that way. And when I went, I remember hearing this thing behind me, but I did not look back for the life of me. Something was like, don't look back. And I didn't. And this thing began to sniff like it was sniffing out, I don't know, human, however. But you gotta think I was technically the only human right there in the area. And when I got outside, it was so like cloudy. There were so many clouds in the sky, and there was colors in the clouds, and like these like shadows looking like they were shadow lights looking like they were coming down from out of lights all over the sky from in the distance, like certain parts like in the city or wherever. And I remember just jumping in the car quick because I knew this thing was like right behind me, but I knew not to look back. And I remember when I got in the car and when I crunk it, it's as if like a RV camper was attached to the car. And I began to get hot, really, really hot. And the heat that I began to feel came through to when I woke up at 8:50. And that concludes the dream. And I knew when I came out of the hospital, like when I came out the double doors and knew that the thing was behind me, I knew this was happening everywhere. Because when I got out there, it looked like cars had them crashed, and I knew they were running around, but I knew I was moving smooth enough and steady enough to not cause a diversion until I got in the car. And that's when the heat overwhelmed me to where I literally felt that heat coming when I woke up.
Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path. Thy word is very pure, therefore thy servant loveth it. Thy word have I hid in mine heart, that I might not sin against thee. This is my comfort in my affliction, for thy word hath quickened me. Let, I pray thee, thy merciful kindness be for my comfort,